All right, so this video is gonna be 5 things I miss about Jamaica and 5 things I don't. So let's just get started. First thing is food. So I'm in New York City right now. I won't even lie to you. I feel like New York and Florida have some of the best food when it comes to America because Florida has like a really diverse cultural pool. So like you get lots of Spanish food, and I do like Spanish food. I do like what other food did I get in Florida? I don't know. But basically, when I was in Florida, I get really good food. New York also can get really good when it comes to food because, again, very mixed cultural food. I've enjoyed halal food. I've enjoyed Jamaican food here. I've enjoyed Spanish food here. But for the vast majority of times, you don't really enjoy the food. I feel like food is not something that people really come to America for. Jamaica, I mean, I could be biased because I'm Jamaican, obviously, but I've always been open to other food, and I just feel like Jamaican food is top tier. As someone that's ate food from different parts of the world, yeah, I just feel like nothing really compares to like Jamaican food. And like palate wise, people in America have some really interesting palate choices, and everything here is just like so like overly processed sometimes, and it's just like I love sweets, but even how American, like for instance, I love cake. I'm a big cake fan. Like for me, like sugar and spice cake, yo, I'd kill for some sugar and spice cake. And you come to America and then you start realizing that Americans like when their cake is moist and like you'll buy a cake and it's like wet or juicy, and I'm just like, I'm so not used to that. Like for me, like and perfect cake for me is plain icing cake. Very like dry for lack of a better word, and it's like my favorite. But here it's like the cake is so like moist and like double layered with like all kinds of like different creamy stuff, and it's just like I don't enjoy it. I also feel like Americans are like when it comes to portion sizes, big portion sizes, but not necessarily like the most flavorful portion sizes. So it will be like a big chunk of like blandness. And again, no offense to anybody. I'm not trying to like whatever. Could be my personal experience. But yeah, food here is just not like it's not it. Like if I was telling anybody to move to New York or move to America, it definitely would not be for the food. Like if it's for the food, stay where you are. So definitely miss the Jamaican food. I miss being able to like get like a nice box food, some fried chicken and some curry gravy. Like yo, you get lucky here. You go to like a bad New York restaurant and find like some proper Jamaican food, but it's a hit or miss. Like it's a flip of a coin. Like you flip the coin, it might be great. Flip the coin, it might be like horrible. Not to mention, I feel like even the chicken is like so huge. Like you get some big breasts which just don't feel like natural. But it's another story. But that leads me into my next point. My next point about like what I miss about Jamaica is the healthiness. As someone that's not been here that long, I feel like when you move, naturally, I feel like when you move to a country like America, your health is gonna decline. And I don't necessarily mean like you're just gonna immediately get sick. I feel like there's certain ailments that you're gonna start developing for a myriad of reasons. Like for instance, I got like a vitamin D deficiency, and to be fair, maybe I had a slight vitamin D deficiency in Jamaica, but I don't think I'd had it that much because one, I was in the sun. I work mostly from home, so sometimes I'm not in the sun. But generally, Jamaica is sunny, so like even if you're not always working in the sun, you'll generally be in the sun once you go outside. But when you move to like northern parts of America, especially like New York, you're not really constantly exposed to the sun, and people aren't always like going outside like that. So like yeah, I got a vitamin D deficiency, which is nothing crazy. You can take vitamin D tablet, or you can eat more food, or you can just go out in the sun. But that's something that I got, since moving here. Also, I think generally you're gonna start getting sick more because your body's kind of adjusting to like a new environment. So even stuff like the kind of fruits that you have available to you, the kind of vegetables, and then sometimes you can start running into more processed stuff. Because the thing is, obviously Jamaica has processed stuff, but I feel like it's more like of a thing here. So like I come here and I see like, hold on, let me shake is what I'm talking about. All right, so look at this. This is ginger, right? So honestly, I'm not used to seeing ginger this big. I don't know if it's a different variation of ginger, but like I'm not used to ginger being this big. And I always have ginger. Like I drink ginger tea, I put ginger in my food. Look at how huge this is. Now my only assumption that I can make is this is like process. I don't want, it can't be processed. What's the word? I don't know what the word is to use, but I'm not used to food being so jumbo. It could be how it's grown, but I think it makes it a little bit less natural. And I feel like the less natural food is, the more likely it is to lead to cause to like certain complications. So I feel like because of not having access to the same kind of like fruits that I'd have, the same kind of vegetables, because I'm a guy like, I'm big on like fruits, vegetables, healthy stuff. And I feel like not having access to that makes you more sick. And even if you're having those same fruits and vegetables here, because I still have like my garlic, my ginger, my broccoli, my kale, whatever, I still feel like even the versions that are here are not as healthy. No, I can be wrong. I don't have no scientific data to back that up. This is all my feelings, but I just know that I feel more sick and I have to make a lot more effort to kind of maintain my health. So, I'm still going to the gym and stuff. In fact, I'm drinking a way less. Yeah, I used to drink all the time in Jamaica and I didn't feel as unhealthy now. Could be my age. Could be my age. But yeah, like I definitely feel like being in Jamaica, you experience better quality of health, and not just physical health, also mental health. But I'm going to attribute less of the mental health struggles from America itself, and more so to the moving from your home country to another. Because obviously, once you move from your home country, you're going to experience a certain level of stress just from the fact that it's not your original home. But yeah, health is a major concern for me. Let's look on the next thing. Yeah, did I say 5 things? It's actually 4 things, but let's hope I said 4 things. Work culture. I miss the work culture in Jamaica. Yeah, in terms of being here, I think America has a good work culture in the sense where you can, work like basically you can work for an entire 24 hours. There's like a 24-hour work cycle. So there's jobs that start in the night, there's jobs that, start in the day. But why I miss the work culture in Jamaica is that I felt like people had like separation between like work and like life. And I feel like in America, that's less of the case. I feel like people really don't have much of a work-life balance because there's like a big work culture. So you find that most people spend a lot of their lives working. Their weekends, their regular days, they come home, they're tired from work. It's like they don't really have like a proper work-life balance. Obviously, everybody have time to squeeze in at one party or squeeze in some kind of activity, but I just don't feel like there's like a healthy work-life balance. I feel like in Jamaica, people have a very good work-life balance because we don't have like a culture of like, for lack of a better word, like work is your life. Like people here have 3 jobs, 4 jobs. People here leave one job, go to the next job. People here have jobs during the week and then work on the weekends. So it's just like, it's a different culture where, when it reach 5 o'clock in Jamaica and you're 9 to 5 done, like you're out, you're checked out. That's not the case here. And I mean, for me, I can kind of relate more to the American culture because I have a business. So obviously, I already don't have a good work-life balance, but I'm used to being able to make free time whenever I want. And that's something I think people over here don't have that much leeway to do. So you find that they are just always working and don't have much lives outside of it. And I think that contributes to like a culture of like loneliness and like not having lots of relationships because basically everybody's always working all the time. And if they're not working all the time, then they are just broke and they can't do anything. So yeah, I really miss the work culture in Jamaica. I miss being able to like, when work time done, we're just having fun and we're not just stressing about like, no, we're stressing about bills because everybody's like broke. But I don't know, it's like they're happier for lack of a better word. Let's look on the last one. Number 4 is friends. All right. The previous point I worked into this one. So because of like, well, let me not just use work culture. I think being in Jamaica and growing up there, obviously you're going to have more friends there. But I generally feel like people are friendlier in Jamaica. Jamaicans have this weird culture where they don't need to know somebody. They're very friendly. Not friendly in a creepy way, but it's almost like, you meet a Jamaican once and he already have a nickname. Like he already has a nickname for you. And, if it's not like a situation where he needs to be aggressive, they are usually more of like the easygoing, funnier people, more jovial. So yeah, like it's a more friendlier culture. Whereas over here, I feel like people don't really make friends like that. I feel like it's a more selfish. Is selfish the word I want to use? It's a more culture that emphasizes more on self. So I think people here stay to themselves more. I think people here don't emphasize like friendship that much or maintaining friendships. I think people here are less likely to like maintain friends after a certain age. Well, I think that's different in Jamaica. I think Jamaicans particularly are big on friendship, big on keeping relationships, friendships alive, and just overall ease. Like a Jamaican will probably make friends with everybody as long as they're not like in their like angry element, then yeah, they're gonna be friends with everybody. They're gonna like be making jokes all the time. Like that's how I see the culture. So yeah, I miss that. Now here's the four things that I do not miss about Jamaica. And number one on that list is safety. Personally, I feel like living in Jamaica as a Jamaican, you are constantly hyper vigilant. Like phrases like, yo, watch your head back, be more aware. Like this applies generally in the world. Like you have to be aware generally, but I feel like it is a emphasis in Jamaica where you constantly have to be like very hyper vigilant. Like I'm not saying that people are just gonna murder you randomly, but because people are trying to like escape poverty or make ends meet, you're constantly at threat because of like people being poor. So nobody hates you because you're black or hates you because you're a Christian or hates you because of any view. People just want money. So it's just like you're not safe because everybody's poor. So it's just like once you own something or have something of value, you are, at risk of being in problems. So it's never hate crimes per se, or there are hate crimes, but they're far and few. But it's crimes of, yo, I need ends to meet. So it is exhausting constantly having to be like hyper safe. Like, you know what is very interesting when you move to another country and it's stuff like even like grills on doors. So like almost every Jamaican house will have a grill on the door, and even like grilled gates. And you move to like the States and you notice like it's not really a thing to have grill on your doors. Obviously you have places that do, and after places that do have grills on their doors or gates is because that place used to be like violent or like used to be dangerous. But it's not really as much as a thing anymore, and it's a thing like almost everywhere. Like I have a friend recently who heard the grill on her window was like sawed off and they broke into her house. And again, she's not like rich. She's not rich or anything. Single mom. So like, yeah, they stole stuff like her TV, stole her jewelry. And it's not like I'm trying to get that. This is a normal person. This is not somebody that you specifically target. But again, it's just the nature of the country. So it's just like, yeah, you come here and you realize, oh, there's no grills on the windows. And like living in grilled windows, like because you're used to it, you might not notice, but it does make you kind of like hyper vigilant living like that, like living on a constant whatever. And sometimes it might help. It might make you a more good person to have around in certain situations, but it's not a great way, at least for me. Like if you like living like that, sure, but I don't think it's a great way to live. I don't think it's a way to live where you're gonna enjoy life if you're just constantly worried about threat. I feel like at some point, like you have to just enjoy peace, where you can just sit down and not like worry if the world is gonna come to an end, or if you close this, or like so yeah, safety was one of my biggest ones that I don't miss. Next thing I don't miss is customs. Yeah, customs. Hope one of you guys watching this right now. So like the Jamaican customs, they make money off us importing goods. And unfortunately, if you live in Jamaica, you'd know that most things that we need for anything isn't really manufactured here. So basically, if you need to do anything whatsoever, you have to import it. So if you need a computer for work, if you need, I don't know, if you eat certain stuff or whatever it is, like if you need it for school, if you need it for work, if you need it just for entertainment, like it's not sold here. And if it is sold here, it's sold like 4 or 5 times more expensive because of customs. So It's just like I don't miss, especially as a photographer and a videographer, not being able to like get stuff. So if I have a light and the light costs 200 US dollars, when you import it through customs, it's gonna cost maybe like 500, and then that affects how much you're going to have to charge for services because it's hard to get things here, and then when you do get them here, it's expensive. So it's just like it just makes everything more difficult. I don't miss having to like barter with people. I don't miss having to explain. Like sometimes they'll even just assume something is expensive when it's not. And yeah, I like being able to order something right now when it comes to my doorstep. I think that is an amazing thing. I think it makes business better. I think it makes people able to advance, uplift themselves. I feel like one of the reasons why Jamaican businesses are being held back is because of customs, because they really can't grow. Because the thing is, if these things aren't manufactured in Jamaica, we have no choice but to import them. So if we can't import things that we need and we do import them, they're double, triple the cost, then yeah, kind of stifling businesses. So yeah, I don't miss customs. And customs point leads me into the next point, convenience. I feel like America has a convenience culture and Jamaica does not. Like everybody knows this, but like opening a bank account in Jamaica is one of the hardest things in the world. And I don't know if that's because of scamming. It could be because of scamming. So yeah, like it could be because of scamming, but lots of things that are so convenient in America is so hard in Jamaica. Opening an account, getting food delivered to your house, ordering stuff, like all these things, they're very hard to do. If you go into the bank in Jamaica, be prepared to spend an entire day. I went to the bank the other day to open an account and they're like, yo, you don't even have to come in. Just do it on your phone. And that's crazy. That's like light and day difference. If you want to order stuff, and people might be complaining, oh, don't compare Jamaica to America. But fine, I won't. I'm just saying I don't miss the convenience of it, or everything being inconvenient in Jamaica. So I won't even use America since America is so first worldly. I would just say I hate that everything was a big inconvenience. I hate that going to the bank took me an entire day. I hate that you have to still use a JP to do a lot of these things because it's funny that you need somebody to verify that they know me when oftentimes, like if you don't live in the area, like the JP don't even know you anyway. So it's almost like somebody verifying their identity that actually doesn't know you is so stupid. Like it's so dumb. But yeah, and I just don't miss how everything is like not built to be convenient. And maybe there's other reasons for that. I won't get into that. I don't miss the inconvenience. Let's see what the last thing is. Customer service. Yo, we all see the beams on Instagram. We all see the stuff on social media. Jamaican customer service is horrible. It's super horrible. Again, this could be like an education thing or this could be like a poverty thing. But because I think there's not a lot of competition in certain businesses, it's like people can get away with being like rude or not caring about customers. So like for instance, you'll call somewhere and you want to get help with something and people will be very rude. You go to a restaurant and you want to order food and people will just be like very like cheeky. And there's no emphasis on them being like wrong. Like in Jamaica, you just have to expect bad customer service. And I guess because there's not a lot of competition, because lots of the businesses are like monopolies. So like you could get bad customer service from like your service provider. There's only two. It's digital or flow. So if they both treat you bad, you don't have much of a choice. With light, like there's one light company. So like if you know like if you don't like the service, you don't have a choice. You can't even go entirely off the grid. So even if you say you're going solar, you can only go solar to a point. So there's no other choice. If it's water, there's one water company. So it's just like the lack of like diversity in a lot of these things creates this world where they don't have to really care about customer service because you don't have much of a choice. There are certain areas where will be better, like restaurants and stuff, but again, there's not that much diversity. Some restaurants are just really good, and you're just gonna have to go there because otherwise you're not gonna get good food. So yeah, those are the four things that I miss about Jamaica and four things I don't miss. Let me know some stuff that you guys miss in the comments. Bless.